Hello and welcome to my video today. I'm going to be talking about the fall 2021 Astro and energy update or report. There's a few dates that I'm going to be talking about, so if you want to write them down for yourself, as I will be going all the way to December, you may want to grab a pen and paper right now to write those down for you, because there's going to be some very important dates that you're going to want to, I think, mark in your calendar. I know I certainly have. So let's get right into it. So September 22nd, which is coming up within a matter of a few days, Pluto and Mercury are going to be connecting. And this connection is a very special connection because it's not only on the fall equinox, it is also an energy that is going to be returning 3 times in total. So September 22nd is the first time that this energy will be here. And then Pluto and Mercury are going to have a little party again on October the 1st and again on November the 2nd. So the energy, like I said, returns 3 times, which is very good, giving us 3 different opportunities to really look at things. The October 1st and 2nd, this will be about radical and rooted changes in our thinking. So our thinking, it will be about deepening our knowledge and our openness to learning, how open we are to learning new things or learning new ways. And it will also be about settling unsaid things with people. So anything that you have been sweeping under the rug and have been holding back and not communicating to someone, this Pluto-Mercury connection is going to help you to do that. For sure, for sure. Mercury is the planet of communication. All forms of communication. So as it joins up with Pluto, it's certainly going to be supporting us in talking to those people that we haven't been talking to, but we know we should have said something by now. You know, anything, like I said, that's not settled is going to be important to take care of. And like I said, specifically on these days like September 22nd, October 1st, and November 2nd are all 3 dates that will provide an amazing opportunity to do that. Now moving on to September 27. September 27, Mercury will go retrograde. Now every time Mercury goes retrograde, I've mentioned this in previous videos, it's giving us an opportunity to go back over things, to finish unfinished business, to tie up loose ends, all of those things that need to happen in our life, anything that is incomplete, projects, assignments, you know, school stuff, like whatever, anything and everything. This is definitely the time to go back and look at those things again, review. And I find that it's also like a recalibration time, because when Mercury goes retrograde, it's not just about, like for me personally, it's not just about going back and looking at, you know, what I haven't dealt with or processed or what I haven't finished or projects or whatever. It's not just about that. I completely look at the whole situation from a different perspective. So I find it allows me to see the situation through different eyes. It's never the same because Mercury retrogrades happen so often throughout the year, right? Like, so there's so many opportunities for us to go back and look at some stuff and deal with things that we just haven't dealt with and finish things we haven't finished. So keep that in mind. September 27th will be another one of those days where the energy, well, it's just that's the day then when the energy begins of Mercury going retrograde and allowing us to get back into that groove of, okay, let's finish this up. This retrograde will also be about experiencing what we have been thinking about. So that was interesting because of the Pluto connection. There's going to be a lot of awareness. I think people are just going to have awareness around, like, whatever I've been thinking in the last 2-3 months is now going to be experienced. And then you're going to have awareness about that, because as you go through the experience, it's going to allow you to really see how you've actually manifested what you've been doing, what you've been thinking, sorry, in the last 2-3 months or even 4 months, right? Just go back over the summer and kind of analyze, or just try to think back about, you know, what kind of thoughts was I having over the summer? Like, was I generally positive? Was I generally negative? Was I generally like doomsday? Like, what was my attitude? You know, how was I feeling about things? And how was I responding to things? Was I responding to things, or was I reacting to things? You know, these are going to be things to really look at and question and ask yourself. And we'll be given an opportunity to see these things through this Pluto Mercury connection, which is great. Very, very good. Because, you know, it's all about learning. So moving on, September, and I'm going to jump back a little bit here. From September 22nd, okay? So from the fall equinox, as we enter that, all the way until November the 2nd, it's going to be very, very important for us to pay attention to our thoughts, as we're going to be creating and manifesting at like hyperspeed, okay? So manifestations are really, really going to speed up. I think a lot of people are going to notice that, like, man, whatever you focus on, you're really going to attract to yourself very quickly. So with this, I kind of also want to mention like a little bit of a warning message, because that means we also have to be very vigilant about what we're thinking, because if we're always naturally in negative thoughts and we're sort of pessimistic about things, or just always pissy about things, then, you know, that's really going to bite you in the ass this fall. I'm telling you right now, because this energy is not going to stand for it. It's not like it's going to try to really show you how that doesn't serve you. And when it does that, that's going to be uncomfortable. You know, I mean, that's a part of growth as well. So I don't dismiss any of that, and I never look at those things as negative, but it is something that, you know, is a potential that we're going to experience. So really, really pay attention to your thoughts and even your beliefs, you know, like what kind of beliefs you have about certain things, because like I said, during that time from September 22nd, which is literally in a few days, all the way until November 2nd, the energy is going to be so amplified. And like I said, we're going to be creating and manifesting at hyper speed. Okay. So be mindful of what you are creating, and be mindful about, are you creating what you actually want? Or are you perpetually thinking about the things that you don't want in your life, or the things that are annoying in your life, or whatever, right? So think about that, because if you're always thinking about what's annoying in your life and what you're frustrated about, and if you're always focusing on the lack in your life, you're actually going to experience it in a huge way. And it might come in a very abrupt, unexpected way. So you don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm definitely going to be making sure, I think meditation is going to be the only tool that will really, really get me through that period. So meditating through this fall, again, introspection, I started the video with that, going within is going to be the #1 best thing that you could possibly do for yourself and for anyone that's around you and that is involved in your life, because it's going to shift us in significant ways. These energies are some of them are disruptive, but a lot of them are disruptive in a very positive way. They're busting us out of comfort zones. I haven't even mentioned yet, like there's going to be relationship stuff too coming up. I'll get to that in a minute. So there's a lot that's going to shift and change this fall. So I think just focusing within will be your #1 priority, or should be your #1 priority. It will be for me, because the more we're going to be focusing externally, the more that's going to bite us in the ass. Okay? That's how I interpret the energy that's coming. Now, a question to ask yourself: are you in control of your thoughts, of your beliefs, and of your life? That is going to be another very, very important question to ask ourselves. And then think about, like, you know, I actually have full control, but do I surrender myself to that? Or is someone else, or our external situations, or our external people, or anything that is outside of me, anything, is that running my life? Or am I running my life? Right? That's a huge awareness that I think is going to be, I think for some people it's going to come quite naturally, and they're just going to go and sort of wake up and realize, like, whoa, I'm not in control here. And that's something that's not okay either, and that we're going to need to shift out of. So that's exactly why the energies are going to be here this fall. During this time, and I mean really always, using mantras is going to be very, very helpful. And thank God I'm reading a super awesome book right now called Meditation as Medicine. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And I found a really, really great mantra in there that I actually started to use. And the mantra goes like this: Ong, O-N-G, Ong, Namo, Guru, Dev, Namo. Ong Namo, Guru, Dev, Namo. And that means that I bow before my highest self. I just thought that was beautiful and so sacred and so special. So that's my new mantra, and I love it. And I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it, and make sure to say these mantras out loud, because actually the Om Namo Guru Dev Namo is a mantra that creates a certain resonance within the mouth, and you're actually stimulating the pineal gland as you're saying it. So it's really, really cool to use these mantras and say them. It's actually, it doesn't create the same vibration if you're saying it in English. Like to say that I bow before my highest self, is just saying those words, I don't have any resonance really in my mouth, right? But Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo, the ahs and the ends, I don't know, I feel like a full vibration going on in the roof of my mouth. So very cool. I'm going to write it in the description so that you guys have the spelling right and you can pronounce it properly. But say this every morning. Start your day. First thing in the morning, you say this, and you begin your day with this: that I bow before my highest self. Man, I think that's just such deep self-love and self-respect. And I think if we all reach that level, then it would be mind-blowing how different life would be on this planet. So use that mantra. Use it all winter long, all fall and winter long. I think I will be doing that exact thing. So moving on with our dates, September 22nd, September 27th, October 1st, and November 2nd. So between these times, so during this time, especially important, it's going to be especially important to say the mantras out loud, which I mentioned already, but specifically on those dates, 22nd of September, 27th, October 1, and November 2nd. Say these mantras aloud and say it several times to yourself if that's helpful. Then September 15 to October 24th, 25th-ish, Mars brings awareness regarding self-control and consciousness. So that's going to be really, really cool. It'll be important to become the master of our thoughts and feelings, staying in our own vortex, and making magic. Now I say this because from September 15th all the way to October 24, 25, again, I feel there's going to be a lot of external division energy coming in. So the people I think might feel quite divided, especially we have elections going on right now. So I know a lot of people already are feeling divided, right, based on their political stance. So, but these things really shouldn't divide us. They really, really shouldn't, because ultimately, you know, we're all still people and we're all still looking to live. I think ultimately we're all looking to live a happy, abundant, peaceful, balanced life. Period. That's what everybody wants, in my opinion. I mean, maybe not everybody wants that, but I think most people that I talk to want that. So like I said, externals will try to interfere. And this isn't just, this is like anybody, right? This could be family members, this could be friends, this could be all kinds of people that will try to externally interfere. And it's the external interference that I think we're going to need to overcome this fall. And it's something that we're going to need to be aware of, that, like, again, how much am I always outside of myself and how much am I actually within myself? How much time do I spend just within myself, where I quiet my mind and I do a meditation or I say some mantras and I'm just me, without the stuff, without the money, without the status, without any of it, but just me. That is going to be, I think, crucial and very helpful, very, very helpful for us if we start stripping away, you know, these layers of like who we are or who we think we are, and really connect to the essence of who we are, which is on the inside of you. It's not on the outside of you. And you'll never find it on the outside of you because it's within. So October 8, 9, and 10 are the next dates that I will be talking about. Mars, Mercury, and the Sun come together on those days and ask us, what's the most important treasure that we must preserve here on planet Earth? So think about that for a minute. What is the most important treasure that we need to preserve here on planet Earth? And I think people are going to throw out, like, you know, animals or nature or, you know, those different things. But in this case, the answer, which comes from the stars and the heavens, comes from Mars, Mercury, and Sun coming together. The answer to that question will be the light within our hearts. That is the most precious thing that we need to preserve. The light within our hearts. Because if there's light within our hearts, then everything else, the animal kingdom, the plants, they will all benefit. All benefit. And they will all be preserved. Because we will naturally do the right thing. So preserving the light within you, within your heart, will be the most important thing. Again, old no longer works. So these things, anything old isn't going to work. Those energy's not supporting it. All relationships that need shifting will be supported on these days as well. So October 8, 9, and 10, anything that really needs to shift is going to shift on those days, I believe. Like, or at least the energy will most certainly amp it up and help people out. So, you know, and that again can go both ways. So the energy is, it's neutral in a sense, right? It doesn't discriminate between what's happening. So whether people break up as a result or whether people come together as a result, there's no difference to the universe because energy is just energy. So, excuse me. So like I said, relationships that need shifting are going to be very supported on these days. And October 17th is our next date. And October 17th is going to be radical decisions and circumstances that may arise. So you may make radical decisions, and I'm going to be, again, a little bit cautious with this. So be cautious with this energy and make sure that you're not doing anything impulsively. However, I think some people are going to be making radical decisions that are going to be very positive for them. So radical, quick, like, I got it, I'm done, I get this, I understand the lesson, moving on. So yeah, that might come up October 17th. And then October 22nd and 23rd, Mars, which is power, and Pluto, which represents force, the two combined together, these energies combined together, are going to give us the power to do what needs to be done. And I think that's awesome. I think that's beautiful. So even though Mars and Pluto are both pretty fiery, like pretty like intense energies, but it's going to give us this drive and this kick to like, come on, get it done, finish it up. Again, remember, end of year, Mercury Retrograde, all this stuff, right? So it's going to give us like another push, another boost to get stuff done. And October 22nd, 23rd. So the energy is going to be very regenerative if you stay in the flow and peace. If not, though, a little caution here, this energy can be crushing. So if you're not, like if you're angry and upset and raging and that kind of stuff, oh boy, October 22nd and 23rd are going to be tough days then for you. However, if we're able to flow through those days because of the Mars-Pluto connection, it's going to be super intense. But if we're able to stay in the flow within ourselves, then I think we'll coast through just fine. Ultimately, it's always our response, right, to everything that comes up in our lives. And everything comes up as a result of energy, right? Because the energies shift, they move, they do different things, and then that causes motion in our life. It causes things to shift, which is good. Otherwise, everything would be always stagnant. But staying centered is going to be very, very helpful. So meditation for sure on these days, October 22, 23, make sure that you're meditating and put all of your focus and energy into visualizing the future that you want. It's going to be such a powerful energy for that. So like I said, it can go either way. If you're in low vibe and angry and not doing well emotionally, on that day, it's going to kick your ass. But if you're in high vibe, and because you're choosing to be in that high vibe, no matter the outer circumstances, because now you've learned and you've already spent, you know, the second half of September, and you've already spent the first half of October meditating and going within as much as possible, then October 22nd and 23rd is going to be easy peasy ride for you. It won't be difficult. And a matter of fact, it's going to give you this super positive boost. You see, the energy can always go either way. It really just depends on how we approach it, how we respond, and what we do with that energy. So, let's see, my notes here, what else? Yeah, we got through that. So now we're just into the last part. And I'm kind of skipping over November. There wasn't really any particular dates in November that I really want to focus on other than the 2nd, November 2nd. But now I'll move into December. So December 11 and 25th, Venus and Pluto will be joining each other. And December 19th, Venus is going to go retrograde. Now, as we all know, Venus is the planet of love. So Venus will be helping us to open our hearts, to recognize the power that we have, and to recognize the love that we have within ourselves and the love that we have for other people. That is what Venus helps us to do. So this energy is going to be reshaping all relationships between men and women specifically. So I thought that was a very interesting thing as I was doing my research, that there's something this fall about rebalancing energy between masculine and feminine. And I think the reason why this is happening and coming up, because we have been so out of balance. When you look at just the pay differences between men and women, when we look at the differences throughout history and how there wasn't equality and how women were treated differently from men, all of these things, when we look at these, then we'll realize that we have a lot of cleaning up to do, you know, from our past, from our history. And these are those loose ends that also kind of come up to be tied up or to be looked at again and reviewed and fixed. You know, it's giving us an opportunity to look at this again. And the dynamics between men and women really need to shift. There's just the love, the heart connection needs to deepen, because I think there is still such a divide between the sexes, which is so crazy to me, because at the end of the day, we're all one, right? So your gender doesn't matter. It's not about the gender, but specifically the masculine and feminine energies are going to need balancing. They have needed balancing for a long, long time, and now this fall energy will be supporting that balancing. And again, I think this is really wonderful. I feel like this is so important and necessary. And I really genuinely hope that globally this will make an impact and really that we'll get to experience a palpable shift, you know, within men and women globally. And hopefully things really do improve. And of course, that's going to take a lot of inner work and awareness as well, right? Without awareness, it's not even possible for it to happen. But so the love and the respect is what needs to deepen, like really deepen within relationships, because I talk to a lot of couples and I see a lot of people and meet a lot of people, and it's incredible to me that I can say maybe 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 10 couples or people that I've met genuinely have a deep love for each other, and the rest don't. It's like the superficial, yeah, we love each other, but it's like, I don't know, it's almost like it's not taken seriously. It's just not deep. It's superficial. I see it, I witness it all the time. So that's something that is going to be coming up for awareness. Like, really notice that we need to deepen, our connections need to deepen, because then we would have much stronger family units, right? If that love and that connection is deep between a husband and a wife, or between, you know, whatever, two people, if that connection and heart-centered energy is really deeply connected within two people, that really influences the entire family unit. You get such a different sense within the family, and I see it with families, you know, the ones that are much more aware and attentive, and they pay attention to each other and how they treat each other. That's so, so important. And we need to pay much more attention now to these things of how we ignore each other, how we get lazy and, you know, just don't do stuff because, you know, oh, I'm just too tired for sex, or I'm whatever, right? Like, that's kind of lazy. Those are things. And yeah, I know there's a lot of reasons why, but somebody would be tired. But, you know, it's important that we still make an effort. And I think if our daily lifestyle and our daily habits become more spiritually based, then I think we're going to slow down a lot more, and it will give us the space, okay? Energetically, it'll just give us the space to be able to invite more into our lives and to have more love in our lives, because we've created space for that, because we're becoming more aware and we're becoming more spiritual and we're becoming more heart-centered instead of just operating out of here. So this is what really needs to happen. And this is what we're shifting already towards. It's actually already happening. And that's awesome. It's really, really beautiful. But if you're not aware and you're not tuned in, especially like to yourself, oh man, you're going to struggle through this fall. Let me tell you, it'll be a challenge, and it'll be a challenge for relationships too. I know it. I can see it already, that the ones that are not working right now, I don't think they're going to make it. But you know what? That can be a good thing. So one last thing I kind of want to say here at the end is having awareness of your ego and how loud it is and how obnoxious it is and how much it wants to drive the ship constantly is really going to help you, because releasing ego is a big part of the fall energy. December 11th and 25th are both going to be days where the energy is going to be so amped up that we're really going to have an opportunity to release our ego. Like, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. December 11th and 25th. Just pay attention. That's Christmas Day. December 11th and then Christmas Day. There's going to be a feeling within your heart that just opens. And you're going to be so much more compassionate and loving and kind. And not just to your external environment, but to yourself as well. Because again, that's what the energy will be supporting. So releasing ego is being supported, which means that we need to bear our soul ego-free. And the question I wrote here for this is, are you brave enough to be vulnerable, to let someone see your heart? So for all you single people out there, that's what I'm going to ask you, and that's what I'm going to kind of throw out there for the end of this year is, are you brave enough to be vulnerable, to let someone see your heart, to let somebody in? That'll be something that you'll need to ask yourself. So that is the fall 2021 Astro Energy Report. I hope it made sense. I tried to organize the information as best as I could. A lot of the energies and the dates are overlapping, so it's difficult to just say, you know, pinpoint one date at a time because of the overlaps, and certain energies run from a certain period to a certain period. So keep that in mind as well, and keep those timelines in mind. The mantra that I mentioned, start using the mantra on a daily. It's very, very helpful. It's already beginning to shift something within me as I'm using it. So give it a try and really focus this fall. Like I said, please, please, please focus this fall on going within. Stop paying attention to the external environment and just go within every day. Take a little bit of time out of your 24 hours that you have, just like I have and everybody else has in each day. Can you set aside 10, 15 minutes for yourself to just sit quietly? Not to think about anything. Listen to some meditation music. Listen to a guided meditation if that's more helpful, whatever you need and however you want to do it. but just quiet the mind, because I feel it's going to, like, I just see this like boat just cruising down the water so smoothly. Like, I feel like it's just going to help us coast through this fall and winter in such a beautiful way. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll say fall. I haven't looked at winter energies yet. So that's my message for today, guys. I hope this was helpful. Hope you were able to write some dates down. And I will be back. I follow astrology. I'm also studying astrology right now, so I'm definitely a newbie at this, but working on it day by day. I have a huge interest and a big passion for astrology, so I'm definitely going to be speaking more in my videos about that, because I know how much it influences my own life, and I see how important it is to be aware of what's happening in the stars, what's happening in the sky. Like, that's influencing us, right? We have to be aware of that. And if you know these dates, and if you're able to follow timelines, and you're able to, you know, put in the work at the right time and doing the right kind of work at the right time, spiritually, then man, are you going to evolve, and man, are you going to ascend, and man, is your life going to completely change, because it's going to take you in a brand new direction. Spirituality is the thing that is missing from our life. It is the number one thing missing from our life. So how are we going to shift out of an ego mindset if we insist on staying in it? And we are all responsible for this. Every single person that's here on this planet. Because we're all contributing energetically with every thought and every feeling that we're having. So, you know, be aware. Go within. Say your mantras. Be loving and kind. Don't focus on the external. Don't focus on the tragedies. None of that stuff. Keep yourself high vibe, because that is how you give back to your community, to your family, to your environment in the best possible way. So I'll leave you guys with that message. Thanks so much for tuning in. And